Mr. Leon Pereira.
So given our land and resource constraints, including sea space, our 30 by 30 goal focuses on food items that have large consumer demand and can be grown in a productive and resource-efficient way, such as fish, vegetables, and eggs. We currently do not have plans to allocate sea space for seaweed production. Nevertheless, we are prepared to consider proposals from the industry on new food types, including seaweed, that will help us contribute to our 30 by 30 goal.
Mr. Pereira.
I think the SMS. So given the fact that around the world there is a considerable degree of, I think, experimentation right now, even by developed countries in Europe and elsewhere, to cultivate seaweed in coastal waters because of the benefits in terms of emissions and also in terms of biodiversity. And given that there is some experimentation around using technology to do this efficiently, would the government be open to considering those kinds of proposals in light of those benefits and new developments in technology?
So I thank the member for sharing his views. We are aware that there have been efforts in different parts of the world to try and look at seaweed cultivation as a means of commercially providing substrates either for pharmaceutical use or for consumption. But I think in looking at whether seaweed is suitable here, we first have to depend on commercial assessment to see whether this is something that industry players think is viable. Just for information, as I said in my main reply, we're looking at whether there's enough local consumption demand to generate that commercial interest, and secondly, whether that really meets our nutritional goals. On the first point, broadly speaking, seaweed is not really a widely consumed item in Singapore as compared to the other food types like vegetables. In fact, the annual volume of imported seaweed has been less than 1,000 tons compared to vegetables where we have to import 544,000 tons per year. So I think in terms of the commercial viability and the local demand, it may well be a commercial calculation to see that there is really no big demands here. The second thing is on experimentation of seaweed cultivation at the coastal area. Here we have also got to be very careful. What is suitably grown in other coastal areas in other parts of the world may well be different here because the water temperature is different, the water nutrients are different, the kind of biodiversity here is also different, and we do have to understand by introducing a certain variety of seaweed or seagrass here, how that can impact the biodiversity and the microecosystem here that can impact also the other type organisms like fish. So it is something that I think the agencies, together with the experts, have to study to make sure that in trying to experiment something new, we do not introduce dangers to our own shores and create more problems with our ecosystem and biodiversity. Thank you.